Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're listening to the Seeking Covering podcast. You've probably heard this claim before that Islam calls men to oppress women through polygamy. It's one of the statements that gets repeated so often that people even stopped questioning it. And the verse that is often used is the verse that says, marry women of your choice, two, three, or four. But honestly, that's not the whole verse. It's not even half of the verse. When you read it in its full historical and literal context, the meaning completely shifts. You see, polygyny, the practice of one man marrying multiple wives, wasn't introduced by Islam. This act already existed in pre-Islamic Arabia. And, even in African tradition, all over the world, polygyny existed before, you know, and it's often had no limits. So men could marry as many wives as they wanted, 5, 10, 20, it didn't matter. And this came with no accountability from the man's part. So Islam initially did not introduce this act, this polygamy. Polygamy was already existing. What Islam simply did was it came and it restricted it. Islam came in and it set boundaries where there was already no boundaries. So polygamy was not a concept that was introduced by Islam. Rather, it was a concept that was already existing, and Islam just came to put restrictions and boundaries, and it did so with crucial condition: justice. The verse that people love quoting actually begins with, and if you fear that you will not deal justly with the orphans, then marry women of your choice. In that society, some men were guardians of orphan girls, right? And they would exploit them through marriage. This verse came to protect these girls, these orphan girls who were being exploited, whose needs were being neglected. It directed the Muslim men or the men of that time towards fairness, compassion, and moral responsibility. And then the verse ends with a warning where it states that, but if you fear that you cannot deal justly, then only one. Right. So justice, that's the cornerstone. And later in verse 129, the Quran even admits, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admits that it is it is perfectly, it is impossible, right? It is impossible to be equal between wives. So it is impossible for the man to be fair and equal between those wives perfectly, even if he tried to, right? So the purpose was never oppression. The purpose of polygamy was never oppression, it was a restriction, right? It was a protection, and it was justice. If fairness cannot be maintained, then Islam discourages, even prohibits polygamy. And yet, the stereotype remains: the angry, polygamous Middle East man, the angry, polygamous Muslim man, the oppressed, voiceless woman, the oppressed, voiceless Muslim woman, a narrative built not on truth but on fragments. But what does it really look like when theology meets real life? What does it feel like to live inside this verse as, in this case, a second wife? Today, we're having this conversation with two remarkable women, Fatima Saab and Sister Zainab. Sister Zainab, who is living in this verse, who is living in this experience, if I could put it that way, of being in a polygamous marriage as a second wife. This conversation is not about judgment or about justification. This conversation is about honesty, faith, and the complex reality of human heart. With that being said, I would like to welcome you both, Sister Fatima and Sister Zainab. Thank you for being here. Before anything else, before the first wife or the second wife, we're both women. We are all women here. We are believers and individuals with our own story. So let's begin there. Could you each, sisters, please introduce yourself, how you see yourself in your own words? How did you come into your marriages, and what was your mindset at the time before you got married? For Sister Zainab, what was your mindset before you decided to enter your polygamous marriage? Was it something that you always thought about or wanted, or it's just something that happened? And Sister Fatima, what was your mindset like before you entered marriage? Have you and your husband ever, sat down and spoke about maybe him being polygamous, or maybe one day wanting to be polygamous, or it's just a no-go zone in your marriage, Sister Fatima? um please tell us, you both sisters, when you hear the word polygamy, what emotions comes up for you? Is it fear? Is it faith? Is it confusion? Is it peace? Is it anger? Is it anger? What do you think people most misunderstand about polygamy, especially when it comes to women?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I come back. I like things, that's why I'm here. Okay, to answer your question about Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I come back. I like things, that's why I'm here. Okay, to answer your question about the polygyny, I think we must say polygyny and not polygamy, right? So yes, it's a conversation that I had with my partner before we even got married. Uh, it was a no for me. So this no came from seeing how women are treated in the polygamous marriage. It's usually the man neglecting one to impress the other one, mistreating one, um, you know, things like that. So my answer came from like a type of protection for my feelings, like if you go into this, then that means I'm going to be lacking of certain things, provisions. Are you going to provide everything for me? But it's not like, it was not even up for discussion. I just said, if you going to be interested in having more in the future, then I will most definitely pack my bags and go. That was my thought at the time. But then as time went by, I don't know, I'm like, maybe it's something I can actually let a person do. But I have conditions, because I come from a background where men did polygamy, like you said. It was for them. It wasn't even like, oh, Islam said. It's something that they did. My grandfather had three wives. I've never heard any drama from those that experienced them being in poly. Is because he had a structure. Like he didn't have that thing of, oh, one wife is my favorite and the other one is not my favorite. And even the children, they were close to all the three wives. They were close to all of them, and they called them mother, mother, mother. And one of the things I heard from my mother and my uncles is that they had turns to cook. Today, one wife is cooking for all the kids from all the wives, and the other wife, she will cook for the husband, and then the three wives and the husband, they'll be eating together, and then the children eating together as well. That is how he set boundaries. He did not make anyone feel like, oh, you are more important to me. This one's children are more important to me. But then, apart from hearing those good things, of course, the ones who are in the relationship are the one who saw the the good side of it and the not good side of it. So the right people to speak to us about this would be Sister Zainab.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Sister Aisha, for having me to be part of this podcast, talking about such a great topic, such a deep topic, and even a sensitive topic for other people out there. Subhanallah, it's an honor. Basically, this is Sister Zainab Nobumelelo Ncongwane, a mother, an educator, and a community leader. Walillahi alhamd. Coming into my marriage, coming into a polygamous marriage, subhanallah, this would have to take me back to like 10 years ago when I was still a 17-year-old teenage girl living her own life with no prior experience of marriage, no prior experience of having children of her own, and straight into being a polygamous marriage, straight into being a second wife. Subhanallah, it has been a journey. It has been a fulfilling journey, a learning journey for that matter. Walillahi alhamd. So marriage on its own, Inji, it was not something that I thought of. It was not something that I dreamed of. It was just a marriage, a passing topic for me, subhanallah, until the opportunity presented itself, subhanallah. And from there, I took it upon myself to learn about it, to look at it from different angles, subhanallah. Looking back now, subhanallah, I must say that from the get-go, from the proposal and to the actual nikah, it was honest and open, alhamdulillah, with no secret agendas. Hence, I look at it and see it from this point in time, 10 years after. I must say that it has been a blessing. It has been a learning journey. So when I hear about polygamy and the emotions that I get, mine, I'm so sorry, and it's different from others because from the experience that I've had with the sisters during discussions and talks, uh, I try to put myself in their shoes and I see that now, subhanallah. The past 10 years that I've been into the marriage, it's not the same as others. Yes, we've experienced a bit of ups and downs, a bit of this and that, like any other marriage. But the other people out there, subhanallah, they have experienced, if I should say, way deep, way more than I have. So polygamy, for me, it's about faith. Yes, there is a bit of fear, but all in all, I look at it as faith, as an amana. And
A whole lot of people misunderstand it as so it's like people would misunderstand it as polygamy being something that is there to fill gaps, something that gives men the upper hand of some sort. So yes, that's just my opinion of how people misunderstood polygamy.
Subhanallah, I appreciate how both of you have framed, this with honesty. Often we talk about polygamy and we reduce it to just rulings and numbers, but behind the rulings, are real people. Behind the rulings are real hearts and real emotions. And, subhanallah, my experience is quite the opposite of what Sister Fatima said. Um, I'm obviously the first wife. I'm not in a polygamous marriage, but polygamy has been a conversation in my marriage. Even before I got married, my husband and I did have conversations about polygamy and so on. And polygamy was, I'm going to say, was um, something that I was okay with from the beginnings, from before my marriage, during my marriage, until there was an incident that happened so close to us that's just, I think it's traumatized me, and my whole approach to it totally changed. So many incidents happened. For example, a man brings a woman, from another country, and the woman is all that he has. I mean, the woman is all the man is all that she has, and then the man decides to marry another woman, and this man basically neglects the first wife, physically abuses the first wife, and the man begins to make demands of, intimacies between both the wives that is haram, for lack of better word, what they call it, threesomes and all that. And the first wife got to a point where she was like, you know what, this is not for me. And she was stuck here, and we had to literally, um you know gather money and help her to literally leave the country and go back home. And I remember watching her leave, to go to the airport, and I was literally crying, and I made a secret dua that, subhanallah, may this type of pain never ever find anybody, because nobody deserves this kind of pain. And, subhanallah, I love that we have you here, Sister Zaina, because now you kind of educating us from a lens of, polygamy is not as bad as what we see or what we've experienced with other people. You bring lights to the positive side of polygamy, which I feel like a lot of ladies need to hear. And subhanallah, you mentioned that you were only 17 when you got into a polygamous marriage. And I just and I can remember, I mean, I can only imagine how nervous and scary and it must have been for you. And I love that you mentioned the fact that, this your decision, and you being in this type of marriage is all based on faith, and you take it as a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is a misconception about the fact that polygamy is to give the men a upper hand. And unfortunately, there's a lot of men who do use this as something to basically control their first wives. I personally experienced this where my husband was given advice by a friend to take another woman, to in Swahili they say kunikomesha, which simply means that to basically teach me a lesson. And a lot of men do this, subhanallah. So subhanallah, a lot of men do this. There's a lot of um really bad stories that we have heard, which has shaped our view on this experience, or on this topic of polygamy. Anyways, I just wanted to ask further. Um, you know, can you, Sister Zainab, can you just take us back to the moment where your husband asked you uh to marry him? Were you aware that there was a first wife? I know you mentioned that there was no secret and so on. And how did the first wife accept this? I mean, like, what's the situation between you and the first wife? Um, I mean, are you guys like, okay, there's a first wife, there's a second wife. I don't know. I don't want to know anything about her. She lives there, I live here. Or is there a form of relationship between the two of you? Because after all, she is an extended family of yours, and you are an extended family of hers as well, since the husband has married you too, and you probably have kids and all that. Um, so just tell us a little bit about that. And what are your feelings throughout this? Is there some sort of competition between you ladies? um like, how is it, like, emotion wise, knowing that I'm sharing my husband with somebody else and so on? Because honestly, it's so hard for me to imagine that my husband is gonna be with someone else. Yeah. And how, like, what helps you to be chilled and be calm and be accepting of the situation? And has people ever, like, been in your ears about, oh, do this and do that to hold your man, blah 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 blah? Because again, there are situations where co-wives go as far as to start bewitching each other, literally fighting over a man and so on. What was it like for you entering a marriage where another wife already existed? Did you face judgment from people or from yourself as well? How did you navigate the feelings of guilt, maybe, or fear of being the other woman, for lack of better word? Did your understanding of marriage and faith evolve through this experience of being a second wife? Sister Fatima, I would love for you to also just answer this question. Do you think that society treats the first and second wife differently? Do you feel like um, people are a bit biased to the second wife and so on? What's your opinion on this? And what kind of support do women in this situation need emotionally, spiritually, and socially? Sister Zainab, you can also answer this if you'd like.
Yes, I do feel like society does kind of give this eye to the second wife because you are coming into a marriage. And most of the people, even when I speak about polygamy on my page, you will see people talking about how you are coming into the relationship to ruin the marriage of the first and the of the first wife. Some people, they'll just give her an eye like, oh, how do you feel about yourself ruining someone's marriage? Yeah, I do think they kind of do give that eye to them. And sometimes you notice that before you tell someone that, okay, I'm a second or third wife, they'll be sharp with you. And then after that, you say, I'm a, I'm actually a second wife. Then they come and they're like, oh, judgments and all that. I've always said, I've always said that it's okay for you to not want something for yourself, but then we must remember that it's something that is halal, even if we don't want it for ourselves. The best we can do is respect people because they are not doing anything wrong. And I would look at the men like, are you treating both the wives right? And are the wives like being forced to have this certain relationship? They don't have to be friends. Also, all they have to do is just, I guess, be okay with each other. And every wife, I believe, uh, deserves to know that there's another wife, instead of making one a secret and making one known. And I also don't understand how a sister can accept to be a secret wife when you know that the Quran says you can a man can have four. So why do you accept to be a secret wife? And when you accept to be a secret wife, the thing is that some of your rights are not given to you, because on the days that he's supposed to be with you, he's with the other wife. Because what is he going to tell his wife if his wife said, oh, I want to be with you today, I want to spend time with you today? What are you going to tell? What excuse are you going to tell the first wife that, oh, especially if the wife knows you're off on weekends, which is a public holiday, and you're not going anyway? You never told her you're going to be going somewhere. And I also feel like when you decide to make someone a secret wife, you are now starting to lie. A lie, we all know lying is haram. It's not a good lie. You're basically deceiving someone because nobody told you you can't have more than one wife. You just decided to keep it a secret. And most people are doing this because they're like, oh, the first wife wouldn't agree, my wife wouldn't agree. And if I tell her, I'm going to lose her. I would like to believe that women these days approach this conversation before they get married. You speak to your husband or wife to be before getting married that, okay, in the run, I do not want to be in polygamous marriage. So if you ever decided, then okay, I'm out. And the husband, he has a right to agree to it or go. You are not yet married, so you have a right to agree. It's just that I feel people, when they are in love, they just forget the future problems or things that might create problems. Then they just like, you know what? Ish, let's just get married. We're gonna see in the future. Then it becomes big problems, and then you end up being divorced. Or you end up leaving when you could have just told the person, and you could have came to what, a middle ground. Okay, I don't want. Okay, I want. Okay, it's something that I don't mind. Just do it the right way. Just be honest from the beginning, from the beginning.
Sister Fatima is absolutely right. I personally believe that a man who fears to face the music of his decision is a coward, basically. I mean, if you feel like you are man enough to go ahead and marry a second wife or a third wife or fourth wife, then you should be man enough to be able to know how to sit your first wife down and explain to her that, what, this is what is happening, this is what I want, and so on. And also be ready to accept the consequence of your action, because obviously you cannot expect the first wife to just jump up, accept your decision, clap for you, attend your second wedding, and all that. So, as a man, you need to be able to, yes, make your decision of getting married to the second wife or the third wife, but also be willing to accept the emotional outburst that follows from the first wife, because at the end of the day, we are all human. The first wife will experience some form of pain, some feeling of betrayal. Some women go into depression and so on. So the man cannot put a time limit on how long this first wife should grieve basically her single marriage, suddenly turning into a polygamous marriage, or a monogamous marriage suddenly turning into a polygamous marriage. So for me personally, a man who is thinking or looking to become a polygamous man should be a man who has emotional intelligence, a man who, does not run away from confronting conflicts, a man who is a man. I personally come from a background where both my grandfathers from my mom's side and my father's side were polygamous, and they were real men in a sense where they managed to raise or lead a family with love, a family that loved each other, wives that understood each other and were merciful towards each other. And from my from my mom's side, I didn't even know until I grew up that my other aunties were my mom's half aunties and so on. So these were the caliber of men back then, and unfortunately a lot of men are not like this in today's days. Men these days are, for lack of better word, quite weak. You know Men today has become very weak in a sense where they want the benefits of being in a polygamous marriage. They want the praise of being in a polygamous marriage, but they refuse the accountability, they refuse the responsibility that comes with it. And I feel like that is where the problems begin. That is where a lot of women says, no, this is not it.
Indeed, it's a sad reality we're living with today that our brothers, our leaders, our imams, who are supposed to be leading us, women, they are misusing this trust that has been given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the guidance of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the guidance of the Sahabas too, radiallahu anhuma. So it's quite a sad reality, because this has left a whole lot of sisters in a fearful and a traumatic experience for those who've experienced it firsthand, and even the bystanders who are seeing it from a distance, who are hearing it through stories. Even for them, they are even scared to consider getting into marriage itself, let alone polygamous marriage. So it's quite sad indeed. Going back to my marriage, subhanallah, what I would like to sum it up into is that it started off as a polygamous marriage. I just want to emphasize that it started off as a polygamous marriage. So here's how it went, inshallah. So brother proposed to me. When he proposed, I fully knew that he was married. I fully knew that he had kids. And during his proposal, Naya, he gave me his own full description of his wife, the kids, the kind of person she is. He told me straightforward, Wuti, that girl, ukanda shisa, in other words, like she is just hot-headed. In other words, he told me straight up, oh, it's okay, this is the woman that you are going to be taking this journey with. This is the woman that whom I'll be joining in this marriage with. So yes, I fully knew, and I was told by the brother, even though I knew and society knew that he was married. So he himself, he was honest. It's okay. This is my first wife. This is her. She's this kind of person. And yes. And yes, apparently he had told her also, okay, he's also venturing into looking for a second wife. I was like, oh, okay. At first, I was taken aback. It's okay. I didn't fully know also what was I getting myself into, but I was like, okay, I need so much of guidance. So even before accepting the proposal, I went into and did 2 rakat salah, of which I didn't know what kind of salah it was at that time. My Islam was like basics. So I just went there, asked for Allah's guidance, and then when I came back to accept his proposal, that's when he got me into contact with his first wife. In other words, he took my number and gave it to her, and he took her number and gave it to me. And I was like, you cannot expect me to just DM a lady and tell her that, hey, I'm in the picture. What? No. Like, even I was scared, this woman is going to moor me. So, yes. Then, Alhamdulillah, I got in contact with the sister. She's the one who contacted me, obviously. She introduced herself, and I followed her lead. I also did the same, introduced myself, and then she told me that she's this kind of person. She also mentioned it straight that she doesn't take nonsense. She just doesn't take nonsense. And I was like, I'm just a quiet girl. Please, I'm scared of any kind of nonsense. I'm just scared, be it physically, verbally, whatever way. I'm just scared of any kind. So that's what you should just know. So basically, we got in contact with the sister, saxoxa, on the phone, and even via phone calls. She seemed open to the idea. I might not know fully her intentions, how she felt, but towards me, she was open, she was honest, and yes. Then it came to a point whereby the brother and the sister came to visit me at school. Hence, I'm saying that this was a shocker for a whole lot of people. So they came to visit me at school. I might not know whose idea it was, but they came. She even brought a gift for me. And then we got a chance to talk because I was still in boarding school. Holiday time, bengekekaya that much. So yeah, they came to visit. We got a chance to talk with the sister privately, took a walk, kulum, and then Wang Bigela, she told me it's okay. Do I even know? Because she saw what I was still a girl. She asked me, do you fully know what you're getting yourself into? Like, this is umshato, marriage, and wada wada wada. And I was like, as much as I might not know fully what bargains, what umthwalo oza nomshado, but I would like ukuthi you, since you've got the experience and you'll know, y'all should guide me through this, because as you can see, I'm still young. And she was like, it's understandable. And then after that, this was before the actual nikah. And then after that, they went, so we were in contact via the phone. And then I was invited over to their place. At home, it was a shocker. I just, it was a shocker. So I accepted, even came with my brother, and then we went. When we got there, when they introduced me to the boys who were 8 and 9 at the time, they clearly introduced me as Omamncane. And that for me was like, okay, it shows Wuti. People are being honest. It's okay. I was introduced to the first wife at first, and now I'm being introduced to the kids. So this is starting to be real now. It's getting real. So the boys were okay. I might not know fully. I would like to say that, but I might not know fully or would see how they truly felt. But from what I'm seeing, and at this point in time, that's how my experience with them. And then fast forward to the nikah, towards the nikah, the sister's behavior started changing. uh, what are you doing in my marriage? Uh, you came here, you put witchcraft, Ebona, a whole lot of accusations, and then I was getting a whole lot of curses, which was surprising because the behavior just changed from like being nice to just all of a sudden. But anyways, I did not understand, but I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Let me just back out a bit. And then the brother told me it's okay, it's understandable behavior, and whatnot. Then came the nikah. Obviously, she didn't attend for her own reasons, of which I fully understand. No person would actually, it wouldn't be so easy to go and attend your husband's nikah wedding, imagine. So yes, but either ways, it happened. Then as this is happening, she had already left. In other words, she sort of like disappeared. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use because I didn't know where she was. My husband might have knew. He didn't tell me fully Uti what was really going on with the sister because the behavior is now starting to change. He just told me that no, the sister is experiencing some kind of problems of which he didn't directly say what they were. I was like, oh, okay. Came the nikah, it happened. We were not staying in the same house but in the same area, staying in the same area, but the sister was not there, so the boys had to come and stay with us at the house. So as the boys stayed with us, I was taking care of them. I was also expecting my own baby daughter at that time, and alhamdulillah, before I could just carry on, there was a judgment from my friends at school. Even a matron at school, she was like, hey, you are going to get married. Hey, you've got no future. Hey, now you're just going to be a wife, a second wife. You know, it just became a whole lot. But alhamdulillah, I was able to shut all of those out. Either way, yes, I was able to shut all the noise out and then just taking this through, facing it head on. And honestly, I did not know how I did all of that. Alhamdulillah. I guess it's because of the communication through my husband. He was telling me it's okay. Now this is the situation. She's no longer here. I didn't know fully well what she's gone. But he just told me it was okay. The sister is now not here. My boys I cannot leave them alone. We are born. So basically he just talked to me about the situation, of which was, and I understood. So the boys came, they stayed with us, took care of them, and then after like what, 6 months, 6 months, 7 months down the line, the sister came back. She was angry. When she came back, she was angry. My mother and everything, my family, they were there. I didn't want to bother them with my life. I was like, this is not my life. This is my life. I embraced it. It's okay. This is my life. So I will face it however it came. And I did, alhamdulillah. When she came back, the first wife, there was a whole lot of quarrels between him and her, of which they didn't fully tell me. Oh, it's okay. This is the situation. That was the first incident. No, the second incident now that we are married, Zega, with our marriage. So after that incident, yes, I cried. Yes, I asked myself what's going on. Nailona, he's not telling me the full story, like what is going on. I didn't even consider telling my family. My sister were there asking me, meaning like phone. We were in contact. Are you okay? Is everything okay? How's everything? Me, I'm just saying it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't even consider telling them. I was like, this is my life, so I'll just move on with it. So yeah, I was crying and then like asking myself, what is going on? Can somebody tell me? I even decided this one night, okay, I'm not understanding what's going on there. I'm just going to leave. I decided to walk out of the door. He came back. That's when he set me down. It's okay. The sister has her own problem, her family problem. So now it's getting in the way of our marriage. Nan. I was like, oh, okay, then why was it so hard for you to tell me? Because you were honest with her from the beginning. Now, what's the problem? No, it's a personal thing that she has. So I hope I will tell you some other time. I was like, oh, okay. And then I stayed and continuing to stay. After like a week or two of that incident, the sister came. This time she was calm. I was so scared. I was so scared that she's going to murder me. You. But then she came, she was calm. And this time when she was calm, she set me down. She came to our house. She set me down. The boys, we sent them out so that we can talk. Even my husband was surprised. He was okay, here she comes. Maybe she's going to cause some kind of like big drama, none. But no, she came, she asked Uti, can I just sit with Zainab and have a talk with her? He was also surprised. I was scared, but okay. And then they went with the boys, and then we stayed. When we stayed, the sister just told me her situation. Okay, this is a personal issue of, I've got a personal issue of which she told me that I cannot disclose here on this platform. She told me her issue, and then I understood. And then she was like, it's something that she has to go fix herself. And it's also part of a family problem. So she's asking that as she's gone, may I please take care of her kids like fully. And I was understanding. I was like, oh, okay, really, I'm used to the boys. I do not mind. It's okay. And I understand. And after that, she said her goodbyes and her apologies and Alhamdulillah. And then she went. When she went, stayed with the boys for the first that year, gave birth to my own daughter. We still together with the boys and everything. And after like the 18 months into the marriage, she came back, and then the boys were visiting her. And then when they visit her, when they came to me, there were no negative stories. My mother said this, and then certain changes in behavior. No, there was nothing of that sort. It was just normal. They went to their mother, came back. Went to the mother, came back. Yeah, so I was not told directly what's okay. The sister has left for good. For me, I left the door open. It's okay. The sister is still going to come back. She's going to come back. That's what I told myself. Because even when we were about to relocate to another place, because my husband got another job in another place that needed us to relocate, when the boys were told to go and tell your mother and explain to the mother, oh, it's okay, now we will be relocating with my father and Umamnane and stuff. They went, and then she came. She was like, okay, I heard from the boys that you are relocating to another place because of 1, 2, and 3. So I just came to confirm. And she was calm. She was just calm. She came and confirmed the story. And then, yes, I confirmed that, yes, we are relocating. What's yes, I also heard from Ushakh, meaning our husband. I also heard from Ushakh that you're relocating. So she just came to confirm the story. And I also did that, yes, we will be relocating and in like a week or two. And she was like, oh, okay, no problem. It's okay from her side, as long as I will take care of the boys. I was like, no problem. And that is how we left the area. Us leaving the area, the boys came with us. So what I'm trying to say is that it was honest at first. I was told about the sister, the kids, I knew everything. And then came towards the marriage. There was a certain change of behavior of which I never understood, and they didn't fully or directly tell me, oh, it's okay, this is the story with a sister, until after the marriage, when she came the second time, to cause that there was a bit of drama, right? And then after the drama, she came again and then told me that she was going, right? When she went, before she went, she told me about her story, and then I understood. Communication was open and everything, and I understood. And I guess that gave me that um understanding it's okay. Now this is the situation. This is how we can handle everything. So that is my story. And ever since relocating, the boys were visiting her, coming back to us, and we quite relocated a few times because brother is deals with one area and most to the other and most to the other. So the boys have been moving with us until recently. They had to move back to their grandmother's home because of school and everything. So what I'm trying to say is that now, uh, Alhamdulillah, the boys have grown, teenage boys, Alhamdulillah, and they we are still in contact. There's no maltreatment. There's no ungazwani. What I'm trying to say is that Alhamdulillah, throughout that time until today, like I said, it's been 10 years. That is how our relationship has been. From the family side, as a support system, they were negative. They were not fully invested in the whole thing, but they had to accept, which this is what I wanted. They were willing to accommodate me in that sense. And even now, we are still in support. We talk, and I go home now and then. So basically, that is my story. And in terms of society, the only in terms of society, I didn't receive any stigma because what can I say? There was no stigma or prejudice. I was just known as that girl who got married to a married man who was a second wife. Because after that, I relocated away from the area, so I might not have experienced the first-hand stigma or the prejudice or whatever they might have had towards me.
Subhanallah. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Maybe it's because I've heard so many negative stories with regards to polygamy. I've been so close to women who, experienced the ugliest side of polygamy, and, hearing your story and just, being given this, I'll say it, this positive aspect of polygamy really does touch the heart. And I'm just thinking of the fact that you looked after her children, and you went in with with so much respect, um even though there was drama. Um you still had composure. And I'm just imagining you so young, and you keep repeating that you were so scared that she was gonna moor you. And subhanallah, I'm literally picturing that young you. And subhanallah, I'm just it's beautiful to hear. It's really, really beautiful to hear. I just wanted to add on and say that uh you know some things work for others and some things don't work for others. I love the fact that um you said that there was a point where you accepted that this was your reality. Yesterday my friend and I were just talking about our lives and so on, and just how much we've healed from whatever it is that we were facing. And she mentioned that, what, acceptance has got her where she is. I think accepting your reality, accepting that this is now my reality, this is now my life, makes it so much easy. Even for the first wife, it makes it so much easy when you realize, after your emotional break outburst and your depression, because they do go through it. one can imagine, I mean, even you can imagine if your husband had to tell you that, there's another wife coming, a third wife or something, you would feel a certain way. There's a sense of betrayal and so on. And when you mentioned that, she said that you're coming with witchcraft and all that, these are all the voices of the people, people whispering. And this happens a lot in not just polygamous marriage, even in normal marriages, there are people who whisper in the husband's ears and people who whispers in the wife's ears. And I remember when I got married, the advice that I got was like close your ears to the whispers of people outside your marriage, because people are never happy seeing things going right. People love drama. People love other people's misery. And, it's so beautiful to see how, respectful you were as what they say, the small mother. May Allah reward you for looking after her children. May Allah reward you for being patient. It has, this conversation has really, really changed my. I was a bit biased myself to the second wife. I won't lie. I was really, really biased because I've only heard of really nasty second wives. So this conversation has really changed my perspective. And I hope it changes the perspective on everybody else listening, that it's not always uh a bad thing. Um Sometimes things work out and sometimes things um don't. To first wives out there, um it's okay to be okay with it at first, and then not okay with it when the reality finally hits you. um it's also okay to go into it and see how it works. If it's no longer works for you, it's also okay to say, you know what, i've I've tried, but it's not for me. It's okay. Yeah, nobody should be forced into anything, and nobody should force you out of anything. If this is what is working for you, then alhamdulillah. I'm just so touched, so touched by your story. It also says a lot about your husband, and he must be a person who is very reassuring. And I say this, very reassuring, and has a lot of sabr as well, because when you're dealing with two women, it can be very, very chaotic and very, very crazy. And the fact that there was this communication between you and the first wife, and you being okay with her coming to you, and you being okay with looking after her kids and so on. He really must have understood both of you on an emotional level, and was able to be the middleman between both of you, and was able to um make things be a bit harmonious. I always say that the man is the one that makes a polygamous marriage chaotic, or peaceful. It all begins with the man, because I've heard of men who would gossip about their first wife to the second wife, and the second wife to the first wife, and it just creates so much chaos. But once you have an emotionally intelligent man who is in the center of it all, then everything is just so harmonious, and so on. Sister, just tell me, um, do you think, like, from your opinion, do you think that it's truly possible for a man to be equally fair between his two wives? What kind of accountability do you believe men should have before entering polygamy? And also, What has this experience um what has this experience taught you about yourself? I can honestly say that I've seen the things that it has taught you, but I want you to just tell us by yourself, what has this experience taught you about yourself as an individual, and what have you learned about love and about sacrifice? Please let us know, Sister Zainab.
Mm, mm, mm. And being a 17-year-old girl, I get your people from the school telling you you're throwing your life away. This just remind me of the post I made a while ago. I think even Sister Aisha also commented under it, of the 19-year-old girl who didn't mind being a second or third wife, but she minded being a fourth wife. At the age, it just reminds me of her and how people were like, no, focus on school, all this and this, lowering standards and all that. And I was just like mad about that comment section, because I was just like, you don't know people's standards. And what if this person that she finds is actually a good man, and goes into a good family, that they can build a nice relationship together. So I would say that comment section was basically like how your your friends from school were just like, hey, throwing your life away, things like that. And they're gonna say, they're gonna, oh, you can find any man of your dreams, you are young, and things like that. When at 17, yes, you can, because people are expecting you to have this standards, like very high standards. And basically, according to them, being a second wife or third wife is lowering your standards. However, I did want to ask you, Sister Zainab or Upper Zainab, I wanted to ask you, like, how does your husband like divide time between the two of you? Alhamdulillah, now it's just the two of you, and so how does he divide time? Like when he's with you, is the sister allowed to chat with him? And when he's with her, are you allowed to chat with him? What are the things that you're not allowed to like chat about? I was speaking to my sister the other time, and I was like, how does a man divide his time between if he has four wives? So you're telling me when he goes to the other wife, he's chatting to his first wife, and he's like, and they flirting and all those things about what they're gonna do to each other when they meet. Is that okay? And then but now we have you here, so tell us, how does the dividing of time works?
Yes, Sister Aisha, each and every person, Allah tests them differently. Allah tests us according to the different strengths that we have, the different situations that we are in. Allahu Alam, Allah knows best. And He has the full wisdom behind all of that. We cannot question it. And it's never wrong, or it's never an embarrassment to say, you know what, this for me, I'm giving up, or this for me is not for me, I'm backing away. It's never wrong. And other people, they don't back away because the situation is not right for them. They back away because of uh, the personal things that they are going through, of which we might not fully understand. And indeed, it does start with our men, our leaders. They are our leaders. They are the ones who are supposed to lead this. It starts with them. If they want to venture into polygamous marriage, they have to be fully, not fully, but they have to be emotionally mature. And then the rest shall follow, inshallah. And then it goes on to the first wife, him being fully matured and him leveling himself with his first wife, being honest from the get go, and then moving together into this journey. And inshallah, it might work. Others, it might not work because problems might arise after like a year or two, or whatever the case may be. And coming back to your question, Sister Aisha, that is it possible for a man to be fully fair amongst his wife? To be fully, that would be an exaggeration. To be fully, because nobody is perfect. The man might try by all means to be fair in however way possible. At the same time, the wives, they wouldn't see it as being fair. You know us, how women are. We work with our emotions. While the men are logic and they are very logic in whatever they do, whatever they say, us women, we are mostly or mainly like emotionally. We walk through things through our emotions, if I should say, if that's the appropriate way to put it. So we always let our emotions take over in most cases. But either way, it's totally possible, inshallah. Firstly, putting Allah first in the relationship, in the marriage, putting Allah first. That's the main thing. And then each and every person knowing their place, knowing their roles, knowing their responsibilities towards one another. Then it's truly possible that the men can be fair in all sense. I mean, look at the marriages that have been successful over the years, not just looking at the marriages that have faced a bit of difficulty that might have led to divorce, might have led to a traumatic experience, but looking also at the marriages that have worked, besides polygamous marriage, even marriages that just involved the wife and the husband only. It's called monogamous, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that kind of marriage. Looking at those marriage itself, now those kind of marriages, it's possible that the man was fair according to the experience of their kind of marriage. So the accountability that men should have in polygamy is number one, being the leaders. Being the leaders, playing their part. So it starts with the husband, right? If he's the one who's initiating the whole polygamy marriage, it starts with the husband, him taking the lead. Knowing fully well, oh, it's okay, this is what we're venturing in, this is what we are putting ourselves into, and leveling themselves to their first or second wife, leveling himself to their level in terms of opening the channels of communication, in terms of the approach, in terms of including or involving the wife and having patience with her. Don't just expect her to wake up one day and be accepting that since it's the something that Allah has given them, so she's gonna be accepting anyhow. No. So it also goes with the man, which he should be accountable. What's okay? This is a woman. I'm a man. She's very emotional. Women are very emotional. So be honest with her. Communicate with her. Let her know the role that she has played and she will continue playing throughout the journey, and being there each and every step of the way. If they have to back out a bit, then it's fine, taking a step back before continuing, and then maybe after some time the woman will, us women, we change our minds each and every time. One day we're like, hell no. The other day we're like, oh yes, I want to do this. So, and taking the time to actually let the woman being accepting, and also looking at the situation as a whole in terms of your approach. Is this the right time to actually think of this? So that is my opinion in terms of the accountability on the man's part in terms of venturing into polygamous marriage, inshallah.
Barakallahu feekum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you both understanding of each other and continue blessing your marriage. There's a part where Sister Aisha said that let's say, some men are the problem in the marriages because they take stories from one wife and go tell the other wife. And I couldn't agree more to this. Like, I feel like in the marriage way, the man is tough. The man wants to fulfill every wife's rights. even though you might not be just like sister like Apa Zainab said, even if you want to try, you might not impress the other person. I feel the man has to have a certain level of maturity to actually take the role of being um in this marriage where he has many wives, because when you have many wives you have different personalities. Immature, if I might call it immature if it's not offensive to anyone. You have the quiet ones who seems like, you know what, I might just keep quiet. Whatever comes, comes. I'm just gonna ignore it. The dramatic one, the one who's gonna make everything a problem, manipulative one also. So the man must just be firm. It's not your day today, it's the second wife's day. It's not your day today, it's the last wife's day. And you stick to that. And someone was talking about how the second wife keeps calling the husband when she's with him. Oh, I'm pregnant, I'm like this, oh, it hurt like this, it hurt like this. And I'm like, to be honest, if I was the first wife, what is my business in understanding this situation? You're pregnant for him, not for me. I still want my day. I'm not going to sacrifice my day for you. When the next week is your days, are you going to sacrifice your days for me saying, oh, last week I took her days because I wasn't feeling well. So let me be a kind person and let her have her day with her husband as well. It takes a good, mature person to actually think like that. But for others, they're just like, oh, I was sick. So, which is not okay. It's okay for you, like, to obviously call him and tell him, you know what, I'm not feeling well. If you are actually, but then every time, no, you can't expect the first wife to understand it. That is where I feel like the husband should be tough and say, you know what, I am your husband, and I know you might not be feeling well at the moment, but then it's my time with the first wife. I will ask her, because he was also just running without telling, hey, my wife, my wife. He was just running without even telling the first wife. And then she'll just come, oh, he disappeared. Oh, I had to go because she was like this and like that. This is where other people will come. Are you the first person to be pregnant? Eh? What are you pregnant with? A stone? Anyways, so yeah, I feel like and I remember telling someone, I was like, you know what, if I was in this situation, I will tell my husband, you know what, let's go together. Let's go together. Since she's not feeling well, you get in the car, let's go together and treat your wife. When she's feeling well, we come back together. If she doesn't need me there, then you cannot be there as well, because it's my day, I have every right. So yes, the man has to be very mature and be very determined to be just, even though he cannot, and divide the days equally, and provide for them equally. Another thing I was telling someone, you know what, if I get to consider this poorly relationship, you must not take away the things you are providing for me to accommodate that wife, because then we're going to have a problem. I used to have food, nice ones. I still want nice food. I used to have nice shoes and clothes for eat. I still want. You're not going to compromise that in order for you to accommodate the other person. And if you're a gossiper, marriage is not for like polygamous marriage is not for those Malawian men in the streets. Those that goes around and gossip about everything. It's not for those ones. Just gonna go create fitna. Most of the times we blame, no, women just don't poly and what. But we talk about these men that actually um create fitna in their own households. Yeah, my second wife, she can't cook. I prefer your food goes to the what second wife. Yeah, my first wife, she cannot do like this. She cannot dance like. You're creating fitna. Next thing, they start the other one start feeling better. Yeah, I can do this and you can't. You know. So coming to this, also I wanted to ask Sister Zainab about would you be okay with your husband bringing in another wife? Would you be okay with it? And the reason I'm asking this, I've heard a lot of people are like, I'm okay with being a second wife, but I'm not okay with him marrying more wives. after that, which I'm like, it doesn't make sense because you're a second wife, you're okay. You knew he was polygamous. So now you're turning around, you're like, no, I must be the last one. After me, he can marry another one. What are you? So that's why I wanted to ask Sister Zainab, would you be okay if your husband married another wife? Would you be okay with that? Because I can already see you are very mature. So like the way you handled the situation with the first wife, it just screams, oh, Allahumma barik. Is there's this level of maturity in you. So I wanna hear from you. How would this make you feel? I know in most situations you have to be in that situation to feel, but then like when you put yourself in the first wife's shoes, do you think it's something that you would actually handle well?
Yeah, subhanallah, that post about that 19-year-old girl, subhanallah, it took me back to that time also that I was also experiencing, and the comments were almost the same because what? Yeah, as people, we all have like different standards. Different standards. We might be old, or we might be young, or we might still be navigating life, but each and every person has got their own standards that we will never ever understand fully. And in terms of our marriage, we didn't fully experience that time division in terms of me staying 2 weeks or a month with him, and then him traveling to go to the first wife and staying with her like a week or two. We didn't have that. We didn't even have that conversation because it was a time whereby the sister was constantly away. So the brother had to come to my side with the boys so that it wouldn't disturb the boys in a way. So we didn't fully have that conversation, and even when she came, we didn't quite unpack it. So it's something that even couples, when they venturing into polygamous marriage, they should consider having such conversations, such discussions, so that each and every person will know their expectations, will know what's expected of them, and then each and every person will know their role that they have to play in that marriage, inshallah.
Barakallahu feekum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward everyone and increase you guys in barakah and forgive your shortcomings and make your marriages one that people can look at and be like, okay, you know what? We're looking at Sister Zainab and her co-wife and the husband, and their marriage is just absolutely amazing, and it is something we can take from. Barakallahu feekum.
Honestly, I remember that post as well, and I was one of those people who were like, 19 years old, because I myself got married at 19. Alhamdulillah, I got lucky, I got a nice guy, and so on. But, in most cases, people don't get so lucky. So you find young girls getting married to men who waste their youth, waste their 20, and then leave them with five babies and divorces them. So for me, I was just like, yo, that post really triggered things in me and so on. With that being said, I just wanted to just add this. We society has really given men this ego boost, and men operate based on ego. And a lot of men, when they are in a polygamous marriage, they enjoy when the wives are fighting over them. It's a form, like, it's an ego boost basically. So they will go to this one, say this, go to that one, say this. There's even this man who said that he will never allow his wives to get along because he enjoys that, it makes him feel good that there are women fighting over him and so on. So ladies, don't fight over this man. Live your life in your marriage as a first wife, and live your life in your marriage as a second wife or a third wife or whatever. And just don't show this man that you are fighting over him and so on. because they thrive on it. They thrive on it, you know. We really, really need to hold these men accountable. It's not nice that the other wife is being neglected and you are enjoying all of it, or you know the other wife is being even the hidden marriage and so on. Once you accept your that this is your new life, this is the thing that you are going to be in, then you should also, as a wife, as a first wife or as a second wife, be fair. You know, as hard as it is, be fair. When your husband is spending days that he shouldn't be spending by you, I will call him out on it. Call him out on it. You know, we talk about sisterhood, we talk about being for the ladies and so on. I feel like it also extends to this as well. It also extends to polygamous marriage. We don't have to be enemies just because we are co-wife or just because we are sharing a husband. We still, as women, have to look out for each other and so on.
Yeah, hey, subhanallah, it starts with our brothers. It really starts with our leaders, our brothers there. This is the amana that was mainly given to them. So if they are the initiators, then they're supposed to take the woman through, not just with, not they shouldn't just be dragging the woman along, but instead they should be taking the woman through. At the same time, like I've said, leveling themselves to the woman's position and to the way that she would understand. So, in other words, what I could say is that yes, inshallah, I would be open to the idea because I understood it first. Because I'm being the second wife. Why would I close the door of another person whilst this door was actually open for me? In a way, because this takes me back to an incident that happened when I went to visit home, and we were just discussing, and there was even a family meeting. If my sister hears this podcast of Hadallah, she will recall this. Yes, there was even a family meeting about me that I am too soft. I am too understanding. I shouldn't allow a whole lot of other things, like because my husband is the person who travels a lot, attends AMA conferences and the Dawa things. So they were like, I shouldn't allow that. What if when he's gone, he meets another person and then invites them to be the third wife? And if he ever, that was my mother's words, whenever if he ever suggest that he gets another wife, a third one, you must not allow it. It's enough now. It's enough. Yo, subhanallah. That day I was just like, throughout the meeting, I was quiet and looking at everyone like, oh my word, they even held a meeting, a family meeting there. And my brother, who's younger than me, is even there in that family meeting, subhanallah. But either ways, my point is that should that opportunity ever present itself, inshallah, then Allahu Alam, I would be open to doing it, to allowing the sister to come. Obviously, we would have to lay everything down, like how it was done with me. Communication was open. Uh, so, yes, I would be open to the idea, inshallah.
I actually remember reading a comment regarding something like that, not on my page, but I'm not sure where it was, and someone was like, they can't also allow their wives to actually get along because that means he's gonna be in danger. If they're getting along, he feels like they're planning something against him, and I'm just like, is this not what men are supposed to be wanting their wives to do, to get along? But then again, that ego boost comes from not fearing Allah. Because if you have fear of Allah and the conditions He has made in order for you to marry another wife, you wouldn't be getting a big head simply because women are fighting for you. You are still a child, a boy, who should maybe wait before even getting one. And that is such a dangerous place to put women in, because if I can't fight, If I can't fight, what must happen to me? You just go there in a marriage and you start getting hiding. A place where people find peace and tranquility, like they say. You getting hiding from the first wife because you thought you are going to a place of peace. Now they're beating you up. Another thing I feel like is also a problem is the husband also like letting the wives have access to the phone. I feel like once you have more than one wife, maybe find a way to tell them, you know what, this phone is mine. I'm chatting to my other wife. I'm chatting to two women, which is you two. I cannot have you all going through either each other's chats. And not everyone is respectful enough to be like, ish, let me not go there. As women, we like to see it so we can be hurt more. Let me experience it. You go open the chat, you're reading them, flirting with each other and things like that. Personally, I feel like neither of the wives should have the password, but other people are like, you know what, you must control yourself from going through his phone, because sometimes you can't. You can't. Is that urge in you? Is that urge in you? But when you don't have password access to it, then you can control yourself. So as people in polygamous, how do you control yourself from going through his phone? Do you just say, you know what? He already has more than three wives. Like, he already has wives. So what more am I looking for in his phone? What more can he do that will hurt me if it's not him taking maybe a third or fourth wife? So yeah, it takes women whose faith is very like you high. I wouldn't describe myself as someone whose faith is very high, or maybe it's because I haven't been in this situation, but I'm peep, gonna peep. But then yeah, something that I have to work on. Trust. Work on the trust. I guess every parent is like, hey, you know what? My daughter now has peace. We all like it when our daughter is the last one, just like the last bonds of the family. They don't want another child to come in, because now they're gonna stop getting spoiled according to what community or society says. So I guess that is where they're coming from. But as long as you okay with it, because like I said, it would be unfair. How would even me now, I wouldn't understand. Like, no, you must never try it, never. Like, my sister, sit down. You will do it again. And it's okay of him to do it again because he has always been polygamous. So yeah.
Honestly, another thing is, once you're in a polygamous marriage, learn to mind your own business. Like, mind your own business. Don't be nosy. Stay in your lane. Everybody should stay in their lanes. If people are forward and people are nosy, then there will definitely be chaos. Like, that's there will definitely be chaos. Respectful, be humble, have boundaries, stay in your lane. Like, I personally, I'm being totally honest. I personally wouldn't be friends with my co-wife. I would be like civil and all that, but I wouldn't be friends with her. I wouldn't go to her house. I don't want to see what my husband bought for her, and I wouldn't want her to come to my house because I wouldn't want her to see what my husband got me. That's another thing, chaos. But the children and everything, they can come to my house, my kids can go to her house, so they know each other and so on. But I feel like the thing is, mind your business, mind your own business. Yes, I agree with you, Fatima, that the guy should put a lock on his phone, because now it's not just one woman, it's many women. Avoiding drama at all costs, basically.
Indeed, Sister Aisha couldn't have put it in a better way. Sisters, if anything possible, we should look at the bigger picture, find common ground, and accommodate one another where possible, wherever possible, inshallah. Because at the end of the day, this will leave us traumatized, other traumatized, or leave us with some kind of negativity that we might not be able to recover from, or we might be able to recover from, but it has wasted so much of our time, so much of our energy in fighting one another, and then giving the man the upper hand or the leverage that his wives are fighting over me. So that is such a very important point that we should consider, inshallah. Very important advice that we should all grasp onto. And that's very true, Sister Fatima. Yo, in terms of the phone, nothing is as problematic nowadays as the phone. The phone might either build the marriage or just break it totally. So it's always good to open the channels of communication and just lay it on the ground. And once everything has been laid on the ground, it was okay. These are my expectations and these are your expectations. Like, how do we find the common ground? Because subhanallah, phones, yeah. I might not have like experienced the full time division thing, but yes, I feel Sister Fatima on what she's saying, that we like the phone. We should know. We should have a um, clear, how should I put it, clear breakdown of how this is supposed to work. Two phones, or is it one phone, or what? So we should actually like make it clear. And nothing is as important as staying in your lane. Knowing yourself, it's okay, this is my role, this is my time, this is what's expected of me. So why should I jump into other people's businesses and whatever they're doing? So when it's my time, it's my time. When it's the other person's time, honestly, I didn't experience, I still emphasize this, I did not experience it fully with the first wife, but I feel like I would have wanted her to guide me through each and every step of the way. Like, okay, in terms of the living arrangements, yes, I'm staying in another house, she's staying in another house, fine. In terms of visitation and the time with our husbands, and in terms, I would actually loved for them to actually sit me down and guide me through it each and every step of the way. It's okay, this is the time between us. In terms of the phone, if anything arises in the future, then we also tackle it. It's okay, I noticed one thing, should we talk about it? Yeah, as much as we may not ever be as close as other people may expect, or we might expect from each other, but being civil in a way that we talk whenever there's an issue, we arise. And as for me, I really looked up to her, I really looked up to them to actually guide me through this journey. So I would have really appreciated if like the channels of communication, subhanallah, like number one with anything and everything. Because I remember me and my husband, we used to sit and chat. Hey, I just wonder how you and her were going to be, because one thing for sure, she was going to like, the both of y'all were going to like always causing trouble, like, because he's the quiet one, né? He's down to earth, but then he felt as if me and her, we were going to team up in whatever way possible so that we can trouble him in a way, like go for shopping and all that kind of stuff. So Jay, it's polygamy, subhanallah, it can work, it might not work, but either way, we should always try to find common ground and look at the bigger picture, inshallah.
I personally feel like I would want to be close to that person. I do have people that I'm close to, but I'm saying if this person is peaceful and she's coming with peace as well, she's not coming with drama. Because if you're coming with drama, just know me, I can fight. I can fight. And that fight won't be because I'm fighting for a man. I'm just fighting you just to show you that, you know what, you can't sit on my head. So if she's coming with peace, then yeah, I would definitely be interested in um us having like a close relationship. Not to plan to poison the husband. Just yeah, because I can say I'm close to my family in-laws that I hardly consider in-laws because I was close to them before this. So I think somehow for her it would create this thing like, oh, they like Fatima more, even though they do. You have to make peace with it. So I would actually, as long as you come with peace. And in terms of children, definitely they have to know each other. I hear a lot of ladies talking about, oh, I would never allow my children to go to that person. These are people that are actually not okay, weren't okay with it. I feel like they were forced into it. They were forced into it. Oh, I wouldn't want my children to go there. As long as I don't know her and she don't know me, we are okay. Like, I know she's there, but then I don't know her and I don't want to see her and her children. So I feel like, one day if this husband dies, it's not going to live forever. What if he dies one day and then the children don't know each other? And then the family didn't know about these people. And then astaghfirullah, they get married. Na'udhu billah. So what is the situation? Like, you have to think for the future as well. So yeah, come with peace, I give you peace. Come with drama, I go triple arm. That's what the Nigerians say. Give me one drama, I triple them. But I'm not fighting for a man. Sure, God forbid. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
I don't know why, but a lot of men have this fear that if their wives, become friends, or if their wives team up, then they are teaming up against him. So, that he will be like left out and so on. But when you think of it, like that's how things should be. It works out in his favor because if the ladies are like getting along and so on, then he'll be a bit relaxed. Then they always having to be dramas and problems that he has to solve. And one thing men don't realize is this marriage, two marriage, three marriage, four marriage is going to be super, super stressful. So the women might even be the ones who are enjoying the marriage more than the man, because the man is juggling so many wives and children, because now you're going to have children from four women or children from two women and so on. So as much as we like to say that the men are going to enjoy this and whatever, the men actually are the ones who suffer in the long run. And men do not realize this until they are actually in the marriages, and they have to now um, deal with the stress and the conflict and the you know uh, just imagine one marriage, bruh. Like one marriage, if you ask anyone that is married to one person, how's marriage? Me, I'm always the first one. Yay, it's challenging. Like I'm always the one, and it's just one marriage. Now imagine two, three, four marriages. So I feel like men need to understand this, that before you decide, Ruti, me, I want polygamy, make sure you understand the consequences, the responsibilities. Make sure you understand what you are taking on. Make sure you know the weight of the thing that you're about to put on your shoulder, because you, like, nobody gets you're not gonna go in there, see how things are, and then leave. No, we don't want that. Go in it fully aware of what is what, and so on, and deal with it. Deal with the consequence of your decision. And it's so crazy because I'm only realizing it now. Like, it's literally benefits the woman, because the men will suffer. The men will suffer, honestly. Ladies, team up.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah, sister Fatima, you are just this person whom I would always want in the forefront when there's drama, when there's anything. Like, just be in the forefront, because I can't fight, be it physically or exchanging words. I just can't. I will cry. You will just see tears rolling down my cheeks, because no, I can't at all. And no woman, shame, no woman would ever want another woman to come and just fight them. Yeah, Bona, obviously want to defend themselves for those who are able to. So, see those people that come with the intentions of just causing havoc, drama, and unnecessary bickering and going back and forth. It's quite draining, if I should say. It is draining. And that now that Sister Fatima has touched on the children, I just realized now that it's very important to like, well, it should be something that's considered that the children know one another, because in the future we might not be there. They'll be left, and then they will have to, it's either they get along with one another or just know one another, so that should anything arise, they know it's okay. That's my sister, that's my brother. I might not be able to go there, but they know what I have a sister, I have a brother, and if it so happened in the future that they be open to ukuthi bazwane and they become close, then Allah alam, Allah knows best. Then they do become close, inshallah. And subhanallah, Sister Aisha, yo, these men, not my men, obviously. Yes, these men out, other people, let me just say, other people, they just love on drama. They just want drama. Like, drama turns them on. I don't know why, but it just does. And it's like when there's drama, it's like they can see it's okay. This marriage, it's either working or not working. It's like they use it as a scale to 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 measure or to whatever, man, to just test their marriage in a way. So yeah, amen. And to the woman, ayibambisane mbokodo, let's just be together in this. Togetherness, like, yes, we might provoke him now and then, as long as we work together, not like against one another. Let's work together. He got us into this, so let's give him like a taste of his own medicine. Astaghfirullah, I'm joking, I'm joking. I'm joking. So yes, inshallah, Sister Aisha, Jazakallah khairan. This has been a platform that is it's actually my first time sharing my full experience. I haven't shared this, and I'm pretty sure I left a whole lot of people questioning themselves. Should they ever find this podcast, they will get those answers they wanted a few years back. So yeah. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khairan. It has been a pleasure, sisters. And another thing is that during this journey, each and every person they learn. We are learning as we're going. Like, we are still learning. It's not like it's not a destination. We are just, it's still a journey that each and every person has to walk through. So yes, my ladies, Jazakallah khairan for this opportunity. It has been amazing. Even I have learned a whole lot of things and have seen a whole lot of things in a quite different perspective that I might have not thought about at that time or during this time, during my journey. And it's something that even I, a person who's might open another door for another sister to might see things quite on a different perspective, inshallah.
Responding to Sister Aisha about the leaving part, where you won't just go in there and then leave after seeing Shege, I just wanted to say, let's talk about the women who ask their husband to divorce the other wife because, I don't know, you know, there's been a lot of situations that I've heard of, if not three, then maybe two, that I heard of the first wife asking the husband to divorce the other wife. Can we talk about how this is not allowed? Like, okay, he didn't approach things well, especially if he did things secretly. He did not approach things well. But now you have an opportunity after you find out. It is up to you to stay or leave. But to say, I want to stay, but you must divorce the other wife, that's not fair. And I don't think Islamically it's even allowed for the one wife to ask the husband to divorce the other one, because if you're feeling betrayed, who betrayed you? Your husband. Did she betray you? No. What if he lied to her? What if he also lied to her? Or yeah, no, I'm not married. And then only after they got married, then they ask, they tell, he tells the other wife that, oh, I actually have a first wife. So why would you ask your husband to divorce another woman? Why can't you make the decision to either stay or leave? Because you are given that choice, leave or stay. But for you to ask for the other person to be divorced simply because you think, you know what, no, I don't want this, I feel that is not okay. It's not okay to even want a divorce for someone else, and she married him, so she also has a right to be there. So now it is up to you. So I just wanted us like to tackle on this matter because it's very famous, and that is why at the beginning I said the man has to be tough. If he's not tough, that is how he actually ends up divorcing the other wife, because the first one created some type of drama and started acting or like she was sick, or asked someone to act like they are sick, so the other wife don't get time at all. So yeah, I feel this is not okay to actually ask your husband to divorce the other wife. Make a decision, and you're free to either go or leave if you feel you've done so much for him to do that. Of course, I encourage men to speak to their wives before, and not to say you are seeking for permission, but remember that if you approach your wife with respect and communicate to her about you wanting another wife, it's going to be a different story compared to you going to do things secretly. She can change her mind. She can choose to stay. She can choose to go. It's up to her. But for you to do it secretly, that one is not okay. You're not asking for permission for speaking to her. You're respecting your wife because you want peace. You want to live in a place of peace where um, peace will continue, and you will be at a peaceful place. So speak to your wives. I would like to take another wife. I have not found yet anyone yet, but it is a step I'm thinking of. And then give her a few weeks, a few months to adjust to that. You speak to her again about the topic, then at least she will feel respected enough. You know what? The man I married is actually not a coward. He's not a bum bum that will do things secretly. So yes, I also just wanted to speak to the second wives who come into the marriage thinking, yes, he's marrying me because the first wife is not good enough, or he's marrying me because of whatever the because we have this thing of thinking the husband is taking another wife because there's something that the first wife couldn't do, or whether it was her, or maybe she only have two kids or has none and he want kids. Oh yeah, he want me, so I'm like this. Oh, I'm yellow bone. Oh, my shape is like this, her shape is not like that. Can we just stop that nonsense witchcraft of thinking the other person is not good enough? If he's taking you as a second wife, my dear, be aware that it has nothing to do with the other wife not being good enough. And how do you feel proud of yourself to actually say, hey, he's marrying me because my shape is like this, my height is like that, I'm gonna be a baby machine for him? How do you feel? So Vela is not marrying you for love, he's just marrying you because of the things that he sees on you. But then again, I just wanted to say, can we stop shaming or making like a man wanting more wives his means the first wife is not doing something right? Let's just stop that for a minute, because when he wants to take another one, you're going to now be feeling, oh, what am I not doing wrong? You come there making meals because you're like, oh, maybe the other one can't make meals like this, so I'm trying to keep him all to myself. You can never be all to yourself, because from the beginning, you are sharing. So let's just stop with the witchcraft and just be woman deen of faith, and if you go into it saying you are you are polygamous, you're okay with polygamy, then act like you are always okay with it. Don't come and act like one witch from a Nigerian movie. We are Muslims and we should behave accordingly, and we should treat the fellow Muslims with kindness and consideration.
Subhanallah, that's also such a very deep topic on its own, Sister Fatima. Like, we really need guidance on this one. Our brothers, our sisters, like, we really need guidance on this, because this really causes like animosity amongst us sisters. That's why a whole lot of sisters, whenever a second wife or third wife issue is brought up, they are just like, no, hell no, count me out. I do not want. Let's not even touch that topic, because it was done in secret. Number one, it wasn't honest. And then boom, here's the second wife. And then now the first wife is like, she's angry, or she's her emotions are high, so there are different ways that she will obviously respond. So the men, they really need to consider when they venturing into this journey of polygamous marriage, because it will cause havoc. There's this saying that says, hell hath no fury like a scorned woman. So if you betray a woman, subhanallah, that's why there's a saying that says, if you teach a woman, you teach a nation. The same way, if you destroy a woman and you betray her, nothing good will come out of that. You may be lucky. Some other women are emotionally mature and they're able to handle it with in a civil way, but others, we brothers, they should be very, very careful. And us sisters, this should be our responsibility. If we are approached as the second wife, do thorough research. There's Facebook nowadays, there's social media. You can actually research about anything and anybody, and it's quite easy. Like, do our own thorough research. Is this guy married? If he's not, if he's saying that he's not married, we should do our own. We are very good at investigating if they are cheating or not. So why should this shouldn't be the same? We should also put so much of effort in actually finding the truth about the brother, as much as they may be good at hiding. But if we do the utmost research on our part, we try our best, then subhanallah, a whole lot of things would be avoided, would save us a whole lot of trouble, a whole lot of trauma, a whole lot of negativity. At the same time, for the first wife, shame, it's not easy for her to just up and leave. I guess we should like find a much suitable, a much better way of dealing with such situations, and these should be talked about. We should open chats, or even podcasts like this. They are doing wonderful work in actually raising awareness and opening a platform for our sisters to actually talk about these things, so that if you are not aware of such a thing, you will be aware of it, so that should anytime you face that situation, you will be able to handle it in a much better way than if you did when you didn't have that knowledge, when you didn't have such discussions. Because once we leave something until it's too late, then it won't be easy to fix it. So such a deep topic on its own, and it's quite concerning that it's happening.
Subhanallah, Sister Fatima, you raised such an important point. You know, I always tell the ladies that I speak to, who maybe their husband cheated on them, or in this case is the husband taking another wife, is I always say, you know, we women have this thing of saying, oh, he cheated because, you know, I was lacking in something, or he took another wife because I was lacking in something, or what's not, and all that. No, it's not about you. The decision that he made has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with him. We need to learn to separate the decisions that our husbands make from us, right? They are individuals with their own brains and their own whatever, and whatever decisions they make is about them. There's nothing wrong with you. You are just as beautiful, you are just as important and valuable as the next person. So don't ever feel like they brought another wife because you were lacking in anything, and so on. And also the to the second wives, don't come in with that attitude of, oh, he brought me here because you were lacking in something. That is where the problem starts. When you come in with that mentality of, you know what, I am here because I am better than you. I am here because you couldn't, keep a man, or you couldn't fulfill his needs, and so on. Let me tell you something. Men will never get fulfilled, and that's the reason why if there's a second wife, there'll be a third, there'll be a fourth, um, and so on. So yeah, let's be supporters of other women. Um, Tushikane mikono, as they would say in Swahili, like let's hold each other's hands and be each other's supporters, because the whole world is against women. How can we also be against each other? So Sister Fatima, you raised such a beautiful point. Let's stop enabling these men, and let's stop allowing these men to cause us to have low self-esteem and doubt ourselves. Every woman has something unique and something special about them. Allah created us all unique, in our own beautiful way. So let's remember that, and embrace that, and also don't ever feel that you must stay in a polygamous marriage. If something is not working for you, you leave. Marriage was meant to be a place of peace, mercy, um and they should be love, there should be peace, there should be mercy. If those things are missing in the marriage, whether it's a single marriage like Sister Fatima and I discussed in our previous podcast, if that is missing in there, then whether it's a single marriage or a polygamous marriage, my sister, pack your things and leave. Nobody died after getting a divorce, and so on. But if things are good and things are manageable, then yes, bismillah, stay in it.
SubhanAllah, such amazing advice from Sister Aisha for both the first wife and the second wives. And guys, just to sum it all, it shows that Allah knows that these men have a problem on their own. It's the men. That's why it was given for them. They are the ones who have like issues. I won't specify what issues, but we know how men are. They might get one, want another one, and another one. So that's why Allah limited to what? To four, like how Sister Aisha had said in the beginning of the podcast, that Islam brought limitations to this polygamous marriage concept. And indeed, my ladies, just like Sister Aisha has emphasized, it's all about peace, mercy, and love. And with that being said, Jazakallah khairan for this opportunity. It has truly been informative, an eye opener, even for me as a person who ventured into a polygamous marriage with no prior background and knowledge. And it has been quite an amazing. Jazakallah khairan, sisters, for the opportunity. opportunity, and we're hoping that such conversations will continue being talked about so that us sisters, we stick together, man. Let's work together for the peace, mercy, and the love from Sister Zainab and the rest of the sisters. Jazakallah khairan.
It was amazing having Sister Zainab as a part of this podcast today. Alhamdulillah. Allahumma barik. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless everyone, and I hope this benefited listeners. And from me, Fatima Sab, just saying that so you can follow me on Facebook.
Thank you both sisters, truly for your honesty, for your faith, for your courage, and for your beautiful advice and knowledge that you shared with us today. You know, what we've heard today isn't just a story about polygamy, it's a story about people, about hearts that love, hearts that ache, hearts that forgave, hearts that forgive, and hearts that grow, hearts that heal. Islam didn't, command men to marry more. It commanded justice, and it warned that without it, without justice, the act itself becomes unjust. The act of polygamy itself becomes unjust. Where there is no justice, no compassion, and no mercy, what remains isn't Islam, but ego. May we all learn to listen before we judge, to empathize before we assume, and to remember that behind every verse there's a call, and that call is a call to mercy and justice and compassion. Shukran for tuning in and for listening in. Inshallah, we would love to hear your stories, your comments. You know, if you want to reach out to Sister Fatima Sab, please do. I would leave all the social medias here down below. I don't know. And if you want to reach out to Sister Zainab, please do so. All the links will be below. Inshallah, if you have a story to share, if you have a knowledge that you think would be beneficial to others, please reach out to me, Aisha Mubenga, and at Seeking Covering. And inshallah, let's do this. Let's make the world a better place. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.